That is the way spiritual practices go. This continuous, constant test. Class test, weekly test, monthly test, quarterly test, semi-annual test. No ending of these tests. Even to get a little degree, you get so many tests. And reaching the goal of spiritual life is the biggest degree one can get. And for that, we have to face millions of tests. If you don't get the test, you should be sad about it, because God has forgotten you. God, the proof that God remembers you is that you are getting more tests in life. And God knows that you are trying to grow. The one who wants to get the degree gets the test. Those who are not interested, they don't have to get the test. And even the teachers don't get interested in testing the person. Likewise, God continuously, every step, wants to make sure that you are growing in the right direction, you are keeping up that zeal, faith and devotion. Then God is pleased with your interest and He shows you a little way further, and then another test, a little further, another test, until He gets fully satisfied with your seeking. It's a continuous, constant education. It's as simple as planting a pillar. Every moment you want to make sure that the pillar is strong and steady, well planted. So how would you do it? Just go and try to shake it a little. If it shakes, what would you do? Put a few stones around and hit it with crowbars. Jam it. Then shake it. It's still shaky, put some more stones, some more jamming, pounding. And when would that jamming stop? When you are sure that it is steady. That is the way. Until we become real steady, the jamming and slamming and pounding will be there. So no seeker should get disheartened by that. On the other hand, one should feel happy about it. Yes, I am being tested. This is the opportunity for me to prove my faith and devotion to God. Because spiritual seeking, spiritual goal demands a lot. We have seen in every case, every life of every saint, everybody who really went further up in that spiritual ladder. Even a little. Saint Ramakrishna used to say that if you want to thread a small sewing thread into the eye of a needle, even if one minute fiber sticks out, it won't go in. So you have to twist it. Hip. Even one little fiber will prevent it from going into the eye. All should be twisted together. Then it's easy to go through. Likewise, the spiritual seeker's mind is totally together. That's what we just heard from Swami Vidyananda. The togetherness, collective, one-pointed mind has to be there. Even one little distraction is enough to make us not to get into that. Look at that poor Abraham. He was all God's man. He lived for God, gave everything to God. Ultimately, he just got a little distraction. Forgot that God is the one who gave him the child. Even when he gave the child, he told him, keep it for a little while and then give it back to me. Like Markandeya. Mrigandu prayed, worshipped Lord, and Lord appeared to him and said, what do you want? I'm praying for a child. Is that so? All right. I can give you a child who can live with you for 100 years, the full life, but a terrible monster. But he will leave you for 100 years with you. Remember, you will have your son. Oh, is that what you are going to give me? No, I'm just giving you a choice. There is another child who is all wonderful, devoted bhakta, but unfortunately he can be with you only for 16 years. Which one you want? Choose. He being an intelligent man, he chose the 16-year boy. And of course the boy was born and grew up. At 16, the Lord sent his messenger, the god of death. Okay, go, bring him. Time. But in the Mrigandu's case, he didn't say, no, I can't give you. And Markandu also knows that. I have to go. So Dad, don't worry, the time has come. But you were such a loving father. It seems to be that I am taking a liking in you, and now I don't want to leave you. God told you that you should give me back to him, and you are saying okay, though you are sad. But the problem is, I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you. Son, what can I do? That's your business. All right, I'll take care of it. So he went that day, the last day, started from morning till evening, worshipping as usual. He did regular puja to the Shivalinga, but that day, as you all can imagine, very intensely, he was doing the puja. And the Yama, the death, came and he waited because he can't take somebody who is doing that kind of intense puja. He waited and waited and waited, and this fellow never stopped the puja. So there was a sort of dilemma for him. Should I answer my boss and take him away, his life, or leave him to keep worshipping? He should have used his common sense, but he didn't think of the power of devotion. Having got tired of waiting, he just threw his loop around him. That's how the death takes your life away, like a lasso. But unfortunately, this little guy, as he was throwing that loop, he was hugging the Shivalinga. So imagine the loop fell on both. And for a minute, the messenger of death lost its sense. So that's why he was given that job. Anyway, started pulling. The Lord appeared from the Shivalinga. How dare you are doing this to my devotee? And he lifted his left foot, gave him a nice kick. That's it. Yama went to Yamaloka. Death came to death. Markandeya looked at him and said, "You proved what devotion can achieve in life. It can even win over karma, destiny, death. Nothing is impossible to achieve by sincere devotion and prayer. But I gave Markandu a 16-year-old child. I can't take the word back. At the same time, I can't give you to the Yama now. He is dead and gone. So I am going to play a trick here. You will not grow more than 16. Stay 16 forever." So my way to Markandu also is fulfilled. Your devotion also got fulfilled, and Markandu will have an eternally young boy with him. And that's how even today in India also live like Markandeya, ever 16. It's all over, but it still created a little problem. To whom? To God. That's why he couldn't put his left foot on the floor even today. He got a cramp. Kicking Lord Yama is not that easy. So he couldn't, because it started maybe swelling, or you don't see the swelling, but something happened to the foot. He couldn't even place it on the ground again. So that's why Nataraja is still keeping his left leg like this. So even gods cannot escape from their karma. But in Abraham's case, he was reluctant, but ultimately he also obeyed the Lord. Took the boy to the mount, to the sacrificial altar, and gave the boy to God. What is the message in this? Is God interested in children? Are taking away things? Is he trying to take away things for his sake? No. He is trying to chop your attachment towards anything. Even one little minute attachment over anything is a distraction. As the Bhagavad Gita says, Manmana bhava mat bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. It looks like God is very, very, very greedy. Once you think of giving yourself to God, He wants everything. He doesn't want to spare even a little for others or for you. Wholesale, 100%. So even that one little attachment to a child, take it away. So the point here is, if your goal is really the spiritual goal, that means I just want God and nothing but God. By the way, today I got a wonderful letter, a resolve from one of our dear friend who is not here now. Wherever he is, still writes to me. He sends me his diaries. And today he wrote, I wish I brought it with me. He said, God is the first thing for me. Whatever I do, God first. Whatever I spend for God first. My energy, my time, 10% of my time goes to God. 10% of my income goes to God. Everything God, 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 God first. Put God first. You have to have that implicit faith in that. Because our goal is that, God. That's the biggest goal in life. There's all other things can be easily achieved. When you want the big gain, you want to pay the biggest price. So in a way God demands, all right, if you want me, don't want anything else. If you have even one single other want, you can't get me. Either me and nothing, or everything and no me. Isn't it terrible? How could God be that cruel? But again, that is the test. What did the Bible say? Seek that kingdom first and foremost. Don't worry about anything. Don't wait for anything. Sacrifice everything. God, God, God is my first priority. And then it continues. If you put God as a priority and if you get God, another miracle happens. What is the miracle? Everything else will be simply thrown into you. Whether you want it or not, they will be simply added unto you. I just love that particular word. All the rest will be added unto you. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to beg for it. You simply say, oh, these are all nothing. Tuppence. Take it. When the big one goes, all the rest is nothing. Just take it all. If you get God, you get everything. If you get everything and no God, you got nothing. And what is the visible God in our life? God is not somebody who go and get him. peace is your God. Supreme harmony, supreme peace, supreme joy, without the opposite. Keep that as your goal. Nothing should take my peace away. I am ready to give up anything and everything if they are going to come and interfere with my peace. Peace is my priority.